And so wherever MAGA is, we will fight it.
It's Ken Harbaugh with the Midas Touch Network. Today's conversation with Steve Schmidt is one for the books. Before we get into it, you gotta watch this hit put out by Steve and the Save America movement. We'll talk about it in a second.
The list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Pam Bondi also told us there were thousands of videos. Now pedophile protector Pam is lying, covering up crimes of the child rapist. Lies don't just deceive others. They rot the foundation of the self. The more a person lies, the less they can trust their own reflection. Bondi's Epstein lies are ugly.
Don't you ever challenge my integrity.
We do, Pam, 1,000 times over. Paid for by Save America Movement.
The Save America movement is not like other political messaging organizations. I've been so impressed that I actually joined them as a volunteer advisor on veterans and national security issues. What sets them apart, and honestly what everyone needs to start emulating about them, is that they are constantly on offense. We all should be. As people who love democracy, who love this country, we should be on offense. We have the facts on our side. We have the moral high ground. We fight against MAGA knowing that we are on the right side of history. Steve Schmidt gets it, and he brings that patriotic zeal to everything he does. For those who don't know his background, Steve was once one of the most influential strategists in the Republican Party. He has long since defected to our side. He's one of the good guys, and he is now one of the most powerful anti-Trump voices out there. The Save America movement just released a blitz of ads targeting key figures in the Trump regime. Pam Bondi is at the top of that list. But as Steve says, wherever MAGA is, we will fight it. Here's our conversation. Well, how many ads do we have out now? We have deluged the airwaves with these hits on Bondi and the Epstein files, on the threats against Denmark and Greenland. You guys are on a roll.
So we put out a whole series of ads, and they really fall into three categories. The first category we have are ads targeting some of our terrible ambassadors. We have national embarrassments all over the world as American ambassadors, and most people don't know their name, but they disrespect our allies and they dishonor all of us. So we have engaged and gone after the ambassador to Poland, the U.S. ambassador Tech Bro to Denmark, and of course the drunken lout who is the U.S. ambassador to Canada, the racist Pete Hoekstra.
MAGA is a cancer and it is threatening Canada. Darkness is falling and evil is rising. It must be confronted, it must be defeated. Americans and Canadians saved the world together 80 years ago. We've always stood arm in arm defending freedom wherever it is threatened. Today, freedom is threatened by Donald Trump and his repugnant ambassador Pete Hoekstra. Hoekstra's threats against Canada disgrace every American. His expletive-filled tantrums appall us. His disrespect for your great country shames and embarrasses us. Every decent American knows Canada is our friend, our partner, our ally. Pete Hoekstra is a textbook definition of a MAGA superstar: shallow, dumb, ignorant, incompetent, and racist. The American people stand with the people of Canada. We will defend your sovereignty as fiercely as we defend our own.
We're going to keep going after the ambassadors. These ads will never stop. They will be running and targeted digitally in all of those capitals around the country. They'll follow them wherever they go for as long as they're the ambassadors who are disrespecting Poland, Denmark, and Canada and embarrassing all of us. And the people in those countries, our friends, should understand that there are scores of tens of millions of Americans who dissent against all of this insanity. We are beginning our corporate campaign where we're going after Tim Cook. It would be very difficult to walk onto that Apple campus without seeing our ads. We're going after Brad Karp, who is the friend of Epstein, who was the first major law firm in the country to capitulate to Trump. He just resigned as chairman, but he's hanging on as lawyer. So Paul Weiss Epstein is a is a great ad. We have responded with a Pam Bondi ad that's appropriate to her disgrace. And we started running ads in Calgary because there's a group of separatists up there who've come to the White House looking for help in starting a army in Calgary and building an army, starting an army. I don't know what the right term is, but also looking for a $500 billion line of credit to break up Canada. And so we have a warning to the Canadian people. Our friend Dean Blundell is the voice on the ad. He was delighted to be able to do that. But everywhere there is a MAGA abuse, we're going to be present, communicating, and we are in an information war. And this stuff is important, pushing back, fighting back, and calling these people out.
Talk to me about the strategy there. And let's start with the international ads, because on one hand, undermining the regime in every way possible, not letting there be any dead air, and just going after every chink in the armor like these horrible ambassadors weakens the regime at home. But I felt this in Greenland, and I felt it in Denmark, and viewers of this show know that we just came back, the SAM delegation, sending that message to our allies that there is a resistance at home makes the resistance global. And there is power in that. There is incredible power in seeing these allied countries who love democracy, who still believe in America at its core. They just are heartbroken at what is going on with this Trump regime. Talk to me about the international power of putting these ads in places where we can internationalize the resistance.
You know, Donald Trump has assaulted ties and connections that are nearly 100 years old, that have existed for 80 years. We have in Denmark, a lot of young Danes gave what Abraham Lincoln called the last full measure of devotion. And they gave it fighting in a war that began after America was attacked. They died for the United States. The only country that has ever been attacked where Article 5 was invoked is us. And nobody ever expected that would happen, but it did happen. And the disrespect is appalling. Our cultures are deeply linked. Our story of who we are has been shaped by the people who came to our country and left everything behind and built lives in America. And so we have, I think, a moral responsibility to communicate all over the world that Trump is not America, that the disaster, the catastrophe that we are experiencing is not just felt in America. It is felt all over the world. And no matter what he does, in the end, our side will prevail in this struggle and this fight. And the work of repairing relationships that have been breached, that have been desecrated, will be much easier if from the beginning our friends and allies know that there are people who are fighting for them by fighting for us. And so in order to save America, we have to speak out in Denmark. I also want to talk about political strategy, and I'll use a military